Welcome back to Gutter Wisdom. For the first 9 episodes, we've been building discernment. We looked at authority, groups, influence, belonging, the places where people hand over trust before they realize what it cost. Now we're shifting focus. Because most people aren't entering the realm of sexuality through highfalutin institutions. They're entering through Instagram, through podcasts, or someone's healing journey, a creator who seems embodied, a post that feels wise, language that sounds kind of freeing. And when you're looking for guidance in the realm of sexuality or intimacy, erotic expression, or healing, most people don't realize they're consuming information that was never designed to make them more sovereign or more free. Hot take. Just because someone uses words like liberation, healing, embodiment, nervous systems, polarity, trauma, it does not mean it's escape depression. Y'all, oppression repackages itself over and over and over again. Why do you think we have so many cults throughout history? That's why I invited my friend Brittany Wittig into the gutter with me once again. These conversations originally happened after she collected a bunch of posts and trends from the internet that gave her the ick when it came to sexuality. Total repulsion. She knew something wasn't right, but she didn't really understand why or have the language for it. So she called in the big guns. Me. So for the next 3 episodes, we're auditing 3 wildly popular internet trends and Instagram posts, all with the prayer of sharpening your ability to recognize when truth gets distorted. If you're new here, start at episode 1. The show is designed to be listened to in order. If you've been with me since the jump, let's keep it rolling. In this episode, Brittany brings a post that seems wise, empowering, and insightful, but somehow still leaves you feeling smaller than when you arrived. We're talking about when sexuality becomes another place where people are taught to distrust their own experience and treat their desire as a pathology to solve. TLDR, your body ain't a problem to solve. And your erotic expression does not need to be standardized to be fucking brilliant. Let's pop off.
I'm so happy you're here. I am really hoping to learn more about something that has kind of been sticky for me in the spiritual sexual healing space. So I know that I'm someone who needs to do more healing in that area. I know that in my gut, my body has told me that. But I find that when I go into the online spiritual space, so often my discernment kicks in and I feel almost like revulsion to some of the sexual healing posts and sexual healing, I'm using air quotes here. Some of the sexual healing posts that I see on Instagram, they don't feel right. And I can't quite put my finger on why, because of course I don't have a lot of knowledge in this area. So I would love to have you shed some light on that for us today. And I do have some examples.
Yes. I would like to open up this dialogue in one, applauding you for recognizing the repulsion and just listening to it. So, number one, this conversation is going to give some tangible examples, and we're going to break those down so that everyone can have like a trained ear and say, oh, this is why it feels kind of icky. And if you've heard other shows of mine, I'm a really big advocate in cultivating that repulsion and discernment because oppression will repackage itself over and over again. And like the words that the spiritual movement will use will change. And so we're going to break down these examples to give some 3D awareness and figuring out like your internal languaging around how something feels gross in your body is probably the biggest lesson that I also want to just preface with of yeah, this also will change. Like the realm of sexuality will change. The words that we use to talk about healing through sexuality or quote unquote sexual healing, like those words will shift as culture shifts and they can be weaponized and then used to harm. So this conversation I'm pretty passionate about because I want it to be rooted in a harm reduction lens. I want this conversation to hopefully get to listeners such that they enter into circles that feel really good and safe and contained for them so that they can do this deep work. And I'll give a little story about myself and like why I feel like it's my torch to bear in this conversation is that I have regularly been the person to be like, this feels like bullshit. I don't really get why, but like, hashtag I'm out. It's always been in my nature to critically think about these things and use that critical thinking to refine down into, oh, this is why this isn't okay. This is why. This is the distortion of the eternal truth that is actually being weaponized against somebody to oppress them. And so we're going to have a really big conversation. I feel the weight of importance, and I hope that we get to do it justice here.
Oh, okay. I'm so grateful that we're going to do this and that you're here to do this. So, I think I'll just start by sharing an example of something that I've seen that felt immediately bad. And I have some idea about why it felt bad, but it's surprising to me how, like, yeah, repulsed I felt by this language. So I saw a post that said, your orgasm is a mini version of you. And then there was explanation about if you orgasm this way, this is how you are in life. And for me, immediately that was like I'm making like a a moving backwards motion. Immediately it was like, ugh. And it's interesting because I think some of that for me, there's multiple things going on here. Since I had cancer and went through radiation treatment in my pelvic area, I don't orgasm the way that I used to. And there was this immediate like, wait, so because I survived cancer, like I now am forever defective because my orgasm is different than it used to be. This was like an immediate like, ew, that doesn't resonate at all. And I know that there are a million reasons why people, especially women, may find orgasm challenging. Yeah. So what do you think about that?
Okay, so I want to first honor your recognition that your life circumstances shifted your sexual expression. And what this post has said is that something about your lived experiences and how your sex now expresses is wronged. The word that I use is pathologized. So, this entire post that goes through if you come too fast, then you aren't willing to go deep, or if, right, there was just like a bunch of these examples of pathologizing someone's sexual expression. At the core of this post, it is saying your natural expression has something inherently wrong with it that must be fixed. Something about your natural expression must be fixed.
Right. Yeah.
I got chills because this doesn't just happen in erotic energy spaces or sexual spaces. This narrative of pathologizing your natural expression is all over the New Age spiritual movement.
Yes.
And it is nothing short of a very similar movement like Big Pharma does, where Big Pharma says, there is something wrong with you and you have to fix it. And hashtag, we have a pill for that,
Yeah.
right? So, so I want us just noticing that whatever message is coming at you saying, are they saying that something is wrong with me? Are they saying that something is wrong with me in my natural expression that needs to be fixed? And that is a red flag that you might want to look deeper into.
Mm.
The piece that's distorted, and I use the words ripe and unripe. And so there's part of this that I can feel, oh, this is the eternal truth that maybe they touched into in their own sexual expression, but it hasn't fully ripened on their own vine yet. And this is the narrative that's coming out right now. So I have a phrase on my website that how you sex is how you live, and how you live is how you sex, right? The underneath of that, like when you read what's actually on my website, I'm talking about, are you living in coherency? Do you speak your truth? Do you uh, authentically go after your desires? Do you courageously step forward into unknown terrains? And so, if you do those things in your sexual expression, then usually what's happening is you're being taught how to do that in all of creation, in all of your life's journey.
Yeah.
That is what is being really distorted here. And it's saying, and I want to take also like a little bit of a pause. What I notice happen, especially in the realm of sexuality, is someone has an experience that leads them to a truth for themselves. Oh, how I orgasm just revealed something about how I am in all of life. And I want to then shift that. I want to be deeper with my orgasm. And what happens is then they turn their subjective experiencing into this broad brush eternal truth. And they will interpolate and then project their experience onto everybody else's experience.
Mm.
My sense is that's exactly what happened with this person. This person had one revelatory moment and then interpolated that revelatory moment into every other kind of expression of orgasm and said, then this must be the eternal truth that is happening across the board for everybody.
Yeah.
Eh, no. Nope.
Right. And I feel like in what you just said, that's just wisdom that goes across the board. I hope anyone listening that has a spiritual platform is listening to this because that doesn't just apply to sexual experience. People do that all the time with their individual experience in the spiritual new age world.
Yeah. What really taught me this was in all of my work with clients, when I had one client desire and seek to experience something maybe in the BDSM or kink world, they had a revelation around what that was revealing to them. That authentic expression was here to reveal something deeper about what was going on the inside. But if I said that everyone who desires to be pegged has this as a core wound, and then pegging, right, automatically means this is what you're healing on the inside, it would be wildly inaccurate.
Mm.
And so the vast experience that I've had between, and especially when you go into these darker realms of eroticism, there is, I would say, in my first venture into this work, there was a desire that I had to understand, like, okay, what is actually happening here? I feel the depth of this experience and to encapsulate it and make it neat and tidy so that I understood it. And the truth is, every time I got smacked with a very different reality from the people that I was working with, it's like there is no neat and tidy. There is just surrendering to what is being revealed to you. The eternal truth, though, is that your eroticism will reveal something to you. You just have no fucking clue what it's going to be.
Oh, that's so powerful. I love that, and it's so true. I think that's, like, the lesson that every seeker hopefully eventually learns is that, yeah, there is no neat and tidy. There is no there's not you're not gonna be able to put these things into a clean little box, when it comes to spiritual understanding. It's mostly what you don't know. Knowing what you don't know is a big part of it.
Yeah. At this root with this post is a real desire to understand something, which comes from, understandably, our academic intellectualization of all things mental health, all things healing, right?
Yeah.
This happens a lot when I'm talking about, quote, attachment style theory with my clients because I am a sexologist, and the widespread narration around attachment theory has become just yet another way for someone to say, something's wrong with me that I need to fix. I need to fix my insecure attached, become secure. I need to fix it. I need to fix it. All these behaviors of mine point to the fact that I'm not secure attached. And it's like, or how about you just have a need for connection, right? Would we pathologize someone who's been in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights without water? And when they finally get to a fountain, we would judge the amount that they desired to drink?
Right.
No,
Wow.
right? We would never be like, oh, you're not secure enough. You should be able to figure out how much water you should be drinking. You should be able to curb that desire. It's like there's something wrong with you. It's insane what we have done to people. And it is insane when you look at it through the lens of being thirsty and finally being given water. You would never call that insane. But here we are talking about human connection through that very similar lens.
Yes.
So stop pathologizing yourself. There's nothing wrong with anything in your sexual expression. Trust that it will reveal something to you, but you have no idea what it's going to reveal for you or for somebody else.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Already I feel like my mind is blown because that shifts that shifts so much for me, like, already. Thank you.
Mm. We're going to pause the investigation here for the day. In the next episode, we follow this thread further. Once someone convinces you that something is wrong with you, the next thing they usually offer is a solution that fixes it all. It sometimes looks like manifestation, sex magic, control dressed up as surrender. That's where we're going next. We're going to audit what happens when desire stops being something that you deeply listen to and becomes something you try to force into producing an outcome. I'll see you for the next part of this ICK series. And until then, keep your mind in the gutter, y'all. You'd be surprised at what you find in the dark.